Hi, my name's Sean. I'm here at the Jim Durrell Arena selling some of my baseball cards that I've managed to put together over a few years of being a massive baseball fan and a Blue Jays fan. I focus mostly with baseball and the Blue Jays. Got a few odds and ends, just a few things. A lot of the newer guys that are coming up, people that are showing a lot of interest in the new prospects that are coming with baseball and stuff. And it's a nice social event too. You come here, you get to meet a lot of different people, and also the same people keep coming every month, so it's pretty fun that way as well.
So why the Blue Jays?
Well, I mean, how can you not when you get to see them be the World Series champions twice in a row, and then I was also lucky enough to be at all the playoff games that they just went through in the last couple of years when I was living in Toronto. So just when you're the only Canadian team, they're the ones you kind of go for. I mean, I wasn't around too much when the Expos were doing their thing, but you know, it's Canadian baseball. You gotta love it.
Where do you get all those cards from?
In Canada, the cards are a little harder to come by than they are in the States. The distribution isn't always what you want, but you can find baseball cards and hockey cards at Walmart this day and age. Also, there are specialty stores. There's a couple here in the city that do baseball cards, hockey cards. They also do some of the Magic and other collectible cards that way too. So yeah, unfortunately, I do a lot of my card shopping at Walmart, but I also try to hit the local card store as well. It's always good to support your local card store. They want the business and need the business, so it's nice that way.
When did you start collecting them?
Oh geez, I started when I was a kid, so probably be 35 years now, I guess, off and on. I mean, when baseball kind of petered off there for a while, I didn't collect as much, but I did. Overall, I've always been a baseball fan and a collector, so.
Can you tell me about the cards?
Sure. Yeah, I just grabbed a few different ones. A couple of the new Sean Reed-Foley is one of our new pitching prospects. So there's an autograph from him. Of course, Marcus Stroman, you got to get one of his cards. Everybody likes the Stro Show. And then some of the other things I've grabbed here, what they call Tops Now, which is something that every day after the previous day's games, Tops will go through and pick a few certain events that happened that were of note in the history of baseball. So the Blue Jays, I've tried to obviously focus on those Blue Jays cards, so every time they come up, I try to grab those. And then I've got Vlad Jr., the new big top prospect in baseball. He's the best of the best, and he's coming up fast. So that's a nice one. And then this is another one from our new second baseman. He's coming along quite well, and that's another unique card that they only produce those ones for about a week. And so you place your order for as many of them as you want, and then once those stop producing them, that's it. So it limits the production run on them quite a lot, which makes the cards more valuable.
So what are you looking for when you don't have now?
What more other cards am I looking for?
Yes.
I always collected Nolan Ryan when I was a kid, so anything I can find from the great man himself, I will always chase down. And then just more now, I'm trying to focus on the Blue Jays. I do have a bit of a collection of Aaron Judge cards, I'm not going to lie, because that guy's a pretty awesome card too. But yeah, mostly just try and focus your collection. That's what I always try to get for people too, is if you're going to do something, try and focus your collection, because you'll end up with boxes stacked this high in several places around your house. So it's better to try and focus your collection so you don't end up with tons and tons.
Okay. So can you tell me about the hat?
Oh, the little hat. This little guy I was lucky enough to get from the restaurant Boston Pizza. They are selling them with for the kids for desserts. They put a little ice cream in it and stuff like that. But I also remember when I was a kid going and traveling with my parents into the States, there was a restaurant chain that had all of the baseball teams, not just the Blue Jays. So I was, over time, collecting a lot of those little helmets. So this is kind of a little childhood memory as much as anything. So it's kind of neat.
So also, talking about the cards, what would make it so unique about collecting the cards than other merchandises of the Blue Jays?
I don't know, it's just something different. Baseball cards have been a part of baseball for a very, very, very long time, right back to the late 1800s. Baseball cards have existed. So it's a big part of the history of the game, so you can follow the game through that way as well. And I don't know, just something about them that I've always liked. There's all kinds of memorabilia as I'm standing here in a jersey and a hat and all sorts of that. But yeah, there's just something about baseball cards I've always quite liked.
What's the oldest cards that you have?
Oh, the oldest cards I actually have are back to the early 50s. There's stuff previous to that, like back at the beginning of the 50s is when Topps and the manufacturers started becoming more predominant in their production of them. Previous to that, they were sold with cigarettes. And that was a really hard thing back in the day. But in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, baseball cards were sold with cigarettes. So you would get these little cards that would come with them. And those are very, very valuable and very hard to find.
Do you have them?
I don't have any of those. I don't have the budget for that. Unfortunately, I've stuck more with the new stuff because you end up just having too much again. So you have to focus your collection.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.